and maybe we can start developing this with you, Elizabeth. As I've been seeing these days in many others conversations or content in Instagram and many other platforms, supposedly after all this coronavirus, social media is going to be very, very useful and demanding in terms of for acting. There are going to be more self-tapes, more submissions through social media. Social media is going to be more used. I mean, it's going to be a more powerful tool for casting directors and productions. You know. But I'm not a specialist. It's just my opinion. The specialist Elizabeth, and she's going to say what is happening now. Guys, this call is going to be until 8 p.m. So we want to open our back and forth conversation maybe in around 7:30 or 7:45-ish. So, but you can, if you have any question, guys, you can start just writing your question in the chat, which is in your left, in your right side. In the question first. Everybody is familiar with Zoom, right? Hands up. Hands up if you are familiar with Zoom. Awesome. If you have any question, just feel free to ask. Okay. So thank you again, Elizabeth.
Yes, yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm so excited to be here with you guys. Thank you for coming. And yeah, so I guess I'll just go into a little bit of it y voy a hablar en inglés en español. Te voy a decir la verdad, me siento más cómoda hablando en inglés. So when I go into like some heavy topics, I'll probably talk in English just to express myself better. Pero a la misma vez quiero, tú sabes, por si acaso hay alguien aquí que nada más habla español, I don't want them to feel left out. Does everybody here speak English and Spanish, just so I know?
I guess everybody, if you're all good with English, I guess we can do it in English. Okay. And if someone has something in Spanish,
claro, yeah. Spanish. As long as we're both bilingual, like then I know everybody's at least getting the information. Cool. Great. So yeah, let's talk about social media because that's why you guys are here. I would say that social media is, I feel like for some people it can be a very like daunting task. Some people might feel like, oh, why do I have to have social media to be successful? Or do I have to have social media to be successful? Do I have to have 1,000 followers? Do I have to be a content creator? I know that this is such a difficult, not just time because of coronavirus, but just in general, like our generation, it's very difficult because we feel like we have to be content creators, graphic designers, like we need to be a video producer, we have to be an actor, we have to be a writer, like we have to be everything. And I just want to kind of demystify that and say that that's not true. Social media is just an opportunity. It's a great opportunity to use to your advantage. It is a free platform. So you have to pay for advertisement. When you have a business, like you have to pay to have a billboard. You have to pay for your business to kind of get out there. And you as an actor are opening up a storefront and you're letting people in, right? So you have free advertisement by using your social media. So really using it to your advantage is what you want to do. So I would say just understanding like, hey, it's just a free platform for you to use. And so take advantage of that, right? I think social media is a really great way to build your authentic voice in the world. And yeah, like what does that mean? Like just the things that you're passionate about, right? If you're passionate about singing, put that up there. If you're passionate about dogs, like put that up there. If you're, like you don't have to just be an actor and just only post actory things, right? Like sometimes I'll see actors and they only post like, here, I'm an actor. This is all the actor stuff I do. And that's great too. Like if that's what you want your Instagram to be, that's awesome. But I think there's something that somebody once taught me about social media was it's really a backstage pass into people's lives, right? So if you look at like Kevin Hart or just people that you admire, like you see their social medias, and the reason you want to follow them is because you already love these people, right? Like, and you want to be inside their life, and they're really kind of giving you a backstage pass to their life. So, like being able to see Kevin Hart in his house, like creating funny TikTok videos, like you already love him because you see him on television, but now you get to see him doing this funny thing that he's doing. So he's just kind of showing you inside of his life. So just think of social media like that. Like, how can I bring people closer to me? How can I just bring them into my life? I would say is like a kind of like a good message to just give to yourself. Okay, so you have people with your reach, you can engage with them. Yeah, so just like you can have, like, for example, let's say, you know, I have a podcast, and I always think about like, how awesome is it that I have social media that I can reach people that I otherwise wouldn't be able to. So being able to engage with people that I look up to, and being able to build an authentic connection with them. Otherwise I would, like, in another way I wouldn't be able to, like, for example, like Samuel, I've never met him before in person, or like Pablo, I've never met you, but because of technology, because of social media, we have the ability to connect. And I think that that's really powerful. And I think during this time is another way to take advantage is just like, how can you authentically connect with people, and not seeing it as like this daunting task, you know? And I'll just like kind of go through my notes. And if you guys have like any questions, like specifically, feel free to ask that. And yeah. So again,
as an actor, Elizabeth, as an actor, and you are an actor first of all, and I'm admitting here Patricia, which is joining the room. So as an actress, how do you think would be a good strategy to start developing in our favor social media as an actor?
Mm-hmm.
What is the kind of content that you suggest to develop? I know that we have a little conversation days before about what we are going to do develop today. And you mentioned that we should think about ourselves as a brand.
Right.
And that is very important. How could you share that with us?
So I think brands really branches down to a really good exercise to do for yourself is to kind of come up with 5 words. So let's say if you were to look at a storefront, right? Like Whole Foods, for example, like think of the brands that you're loyal to. So I'm a loyalist. So my favorite brands are some Whole Foods, Sephora, right? Like I'm a loyalist to that. But then you can also think of people. Who are people that you are fans of, right? I'm a huge fan of Kim Kardashian. Why? Because I see her as somebody that is a female entrepreneur. I see her that she is super innovative. I feel that she's authentically herself. She knows how to be sexy and not be ashamed of that. And that's something that I look up to, right? So I just told you a couple of things that when I think of Kim Kardashian, these are the words. So I think entrepreneur, I think sexy, I think authentic, I think leader, right? So when you're building your brand, you need to create the words that you want people to see you as. So for me, I do associate with the word leader. I do associate the word with faith. Faith is really important to me. I do associate with, you know, entertainment industry, right? Like actress or podcast host, or, you know, I also associate with health and wellness, authentic voice. So when I'm sharing, I'm building my brand by sharing those specific things. I want to share me in a fitness role because I want you guys to see me as healthy, because that's something that I do behind the scenes and I want to share that. So when you're building your brand, you want to think, what are the things that are important to you? Is faith important to you? Share that. Like, that's not going to derail you from getting a role. If anything, it's just going to align you with other people that are also very into that. You know what I mean? So if whatever that is that you're passionate about, share that with an authentic voice. And I think that that's what I would kind of say for building your brand. Is it's not like, if like, again, and going back to other brands as like a service, like Whole Foods or a Sephora, you know, Whole Foods is all about, you know, and you can look at brands and they will tell you what their brand is. Like Sephora is all about beauty. So if I think about why do I love Sephora? Well, because when I walk in there, they make me feel beautiful. And that's one of their core values as a business. So they're intentionally making me feel beautiful by the way that they train their people, by the way that they do everything. So from a business standpoint, when you guys think about your brand, you just want to think like, how do I want to make people feel when they come to me, right? So That's what I would say.
Awesome. So in what would you suggest if for example, people has different talents? If they are actress and then a model and then they're sing.
Yeah.
So how could people manage to create content to cover all of those different? I mean, all of those are art. But how do you manage to develop those content?
Right. So you're multifaceted, and that's very normal, especially in this day and age. I think it's very accepted. I feel like it's kind of older mindset to think, oh, you can only be one thing. It's like, no, you can be an actress, you can be an entrepreneur, you could do so many things. You don't have to be just one thing. And so being multifaceted is an awesome thing. And I think you should share that. I think you should definitely share all of these gifts that you have and not feel like you have to be like, oh, I can only be, you know, this one thing and keep yourself in a box. So if you are, you know, let's say, like you said, an actor and also a model, but also like to write, when you're looking at your social media, I would say start with your brand, right? Like I would just say start with your brand. Think, okay, like for example, I see Andy Perez, so I would say Andy Perez, okay, who am I? What are 5 of my words? Maybe he would say, you know, I'm this, I don't know. I don't know anything about you, but I would just say, like, let's say random stuff like, oh, maybe you're a family man. Maybe you have kids. Maybe you have this or whatever. And you want to share that. You would have your 5 words like we talked about. And then I would say, like, what are the things that you're passionate about? So maybe you're passionate about acting. You're passionate about modeling. You're passionate about this. And then when you create your content plan, and this is something that businesses do all the time, is they have a communication strategy. So for example, with my business, with life coaching, I have a communication plan with my audience. And that is just my commitment of how I'm going to give value. And what does that mean? It just means like every single Monday, people that are of my audience know that they're going to receive an email. They're going to receive a newsletter. They know every Tuesday, they're going to get a new podcast episode, right? I'm usually very engaged on social media. So I'm usually going to post maybe 3 to 4 times a week on social media, maybe on my feed, definitely daily on my story. So I think just having a communication plan is really essential. And what does it have to look for? It doesn't have to be this daunting task. Again, maybe you're just like, you know what, today I'm going to look at my categories, my brand, and I'm going to share an acting clip. That's what I'm going to do for today. And then maybe tomorrow, I don't want to keep it all acting, right? I want to make sure that my brand is exposed. I want to make sure I'm sharing different areas, because you're not, like, humans are not one dimensional, right? Like we're so complex, right? Like we're super multifaceted, especially creatives. Like maybe you are a part of a nonprofit and you want to share a little bit of that. And maybe you also, you know, volunteer at a church and you want to share a little bit of that. Or maybe you love your family and you want to share that. And you don't have to share, right? Like this is one thing that I also find really important, is to remind people that if you are passionate about having a private life and you don't want to have social media, it is okay to say, I don't want to subscribe to that. Remember, this is just an opportunity to showcase yourself. And as a business, you should want to take that opportunity, but don't feel obliged to do it. Like you can have a private life. Like I was sharing with Samuel, like Meryl Streep, she doesn't have a Facebook. She doesn't have an Instagram, like, and she's top actress, right? Like we admire this woman and she doesn't subscribe to that notion. Just like Diane Keaton, right? Successful actors that they don't want to have that. So you don't have to, it's to your advantage. And if your life is private to you and you want to keep it that way, that's okay too.
Okay. I have a question. I see a question from Daya. Hola, Daya.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having this. So my question is based on that, Elizabeth, that you touched that point. So I was thinking, like, how do you know what is proper to share, and like finding the correct balance between giving people like insight into your life and some of those essential moments, like private. Like I know an actor that does it like that. It's like Zoe Saldana. You will see a glimpse of her family life, but there's stuff that she keeps to the private of her own.
Right.
So like, how do you gauge that?
Yeah, so I think it's really important to have a no line. No line is something that was taught to me. And no line is just like, what is absolutely a no for you? So when you become, like, you know, when you guys start doing press, when you start, you know, being on interviews, it's important to have a no line, right? Because you don't want to, like, maybe, for example, I don't know, like, let's just use, for example, Kourtney Kardashian, right? Like, I love the Kardashians, clearly. Let's say Kourtney Kardashian, right? For her before, her no line, she didn't have boundaries around her relationship. She shared her relationship. But now her no line is she absolutely does not share her relationships. She doesn't share it while she's filming. She doesn't share it when she interviews. It's a no for her. So it's important to know what is a no for you. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't have, maybe you are an open book. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't mind sharing. You know, I'll say for me, for a really long time, my relationship was a no line because I don't need other people's opinion derailing me from something that's so personal, right? Like I can show up professional, I could be a life coach and I can do all these things, but I don't have to share everything. I mean, I could share aspects of it, but maybe it's not that open. So is there something specific that you're kind of thinking about that maybe I could help you in a more specific way?
No. I just thought it came the idea, like, you know, you want to give audience like a glimpse to see that there's a person behind the character. Well, as you answered the question perfectly well, that, you know, just having what is specific to you in the sense. And
yeah.
My second question is, now that I have you, how do you, I find very interesting your life coach aspect and your actress aspect. How do you get to combine the two?
Right.
Like in terms of your social media.
So a lot of people have said to me before, like, oh, you should have your podcast on one social and you should have your life coaching on one and you should have that. And I go, why? Like, I'm one person. I'm multifaceted. I don't think that it's these different entities. Like I'm one. And I think that I can share that without having to break it up. So I think if you just, like, again, I think if you come to that same notion of you're just sharing an authentic voice, you're just sharing who you are. It's not like you're trying to create this facade. I'm not trying to like say, you know, like, I just think that, I think it comes down to purpose, honestly. So for me, it's like, it really aligns with my purpose. So for me, I just know that my acting is one of my purposes as a storyteller, and my life coaching is also, I'm also a storyteller. But I'm helping people because I like to serve. So I think it really just comes down to aligning yourself with what's your authentic vision for yourself and just sharing that, like, shamelessly. You know what I mean? Does that answer you?
Yeah. Thank you.
Elizabeth, as I understand in the previous section before answering this question, is you kind of suggest a kind of a schedule of content. Let me see because you said, like, okay, let's see, on Monday I'm gonna post some, let's say I'm an actor, singer, and voiceover. Okay, I'm gonna post on Monday any scene of self-tape. On Tuesday I'm gonna post, I don't know, a family picture, and then over and over and over. And
yes,
what do you suggest is to have a kind of a schedule of content weekly?
Yeah, so I think content creation is great when you have a communication plan. And again, like, when you just have a content creation plan, I think, you know, there's apps that you can use. One app that I really like is called Preview. And on there, with your content, you can organize the tiles and you can start seeing what it looks like. So for me, I like things that are aesthetically pleasing. Like, I don't just post something and don't make sure, like, my feed is very important to me because I want it to kind of be cohesive. I want my feed to tell a story. And that's kind of like another creative outlet. My social media is another creative project that you get to have. And so when you're creating a story, what are you trying to tell? So for me, I know that my purpose is, I believe I'm a lighthouse. You know what I mean? That's a word of my brand, light. My podcast is called Shine Bright. Like, so light is very important to me. So when you look at my Instagram, there's a lot of like colors. So I would say, you know, use maybe an app, you know, Preview is a great one. And then yes, just have for yourself, what is it that what you want to share? You know what I mean? And then yes, if it works for you, like every Monday I'm going to share, like, I know Patty's on the call right now and she does Mondays. She shares monologues, you know what I mean? That's her thing. And then maybe she's also maybe passionate about her faith. So maybe she'll share that on a Sunday when she's at church. So I think it's just like, yes, having that communication plan for yourself and saying, maybe I'm only going to do 3 posts a week, and that's okay too. But at least if you're like, you know, this is what I want to share.
Okay. What about, I guess mostly of the content that we are covering now is related to Instagram. What about the word that we used to live before? Now everybody moved to Instagram. Before was, well, I guess it's in parallel, but more now the attention is more on Instagram. Yes. What about Facebook? Yeah. Facebook, with sometimes people can share different content in Facebook, different than Instagram, and there is even a third or a second tool in Instagram, which is the professional profile. Mm-hmm. You can have your own personal one, and then you can have like a professional page.
Yeah.
So, what's the difference between those in your experience?
So Facebook actually owns Instagram, and so the great thing about both is they are different. They're different outlets. Here's what I want you to understand from a business standpoint. Why social media, you could use it again back to your advantage. You have to understand, like, for example, whatever it is that you're selling, right? Because as actors, we're selling something. We're selling our product, which is ourselves. You have to understand, and in business terms, there's something called an ICA. It's your ideal customer avatar, right?
Can you say that again, please?
Yep. So it's an ICA, ideal customer avatar. And what that is who is your target audience, essentially. So for example, for me as a life coach, my ICA is a woman usually in her 20s. And she is a person who believes that she wants more, but she has a lot of fear. So my job as a life coach is to come to her, speak life, and kind of guide her, right? So I know who I'm talking to every time I post. I'm talking to Patty. I'm talking to Cindy. I'm talking to Emma. Like, those are the girls that I know that I cater to, right? From an acting standpoint, who am I selling to? Well, I'm selling to writers. I'm selling to producers. I'm selling to casting directors. And what you want to know is, where does my ICA live? Where do they hang out? Where are they chilling? What are they doing on their free time? A lot of casting directors live on Twitter. A lot of them live on Facebook. A lot of people live on LinkedIn. So it's just about knowing, where does your target audience live, and how can you have a presence so they can see you? Because if they don't see you, they don't know you. And again, it's not like you have to live there, right? Like, for example, my business coach is Marie Forleo, and Marie Forleo is this huge entrepreneur, right? And she was telling me, like, she has a presence on Facebook. She doesn't hang out there much, but if you look her up, you will find her there. So just having a presence on Facebook, you can have it. You can have a presence on LinkedIn. You can have a presence on Twitter. I would honestly suggest, the best, have a presence everywhere. I think your social presence is so important in a digital age. I would absolutely recommend you have a website. I would absolutely recommend you have a Facebook. I would absolutely recommend you have a LinkedIn. Any free promotion is going to help you. So I would recommend you be everywhere. When you look up my name, you're going to find I have a YouTube. You're going to find that I have a website.
Like a brand.
What does that, yeah. And what does that do? It makes me searchable. Mm-hmm. And I have so much content out there, from YouTube to website to everything, that I booked a commercial off of my presence. Literally, the casting, like, later on, the producer, I asked him, after we shot, I sat down, I said, I was a direct booking. And I said, why did you hire me? He's like, well, because, from your website, I was able to see that you had exactly what we wanted, and we didn't have time to look, and you just seemed perfect for the fit, and we hired you. And we were right. And I was like, awesome. So in that way, my social presence, not just my Instagram, but my presence, my website, it showed up for me. And, like, remember, you're creating all of that. So you get to show the world what you want them to see about you. You know what I mean? So if I want you to see that I'm a singer and I have singing videos, then now people are going to there's a saying that says, if you show up in the world and say, this is what you do, no one can tell you no, because you're just showing up that way. So everybody just assumes that's what you are. So if you just keep doing that, then people are going to be like, oh, you know what I mean? So that's what I would say, is just absolutely try to have your presence everywhere, even if it's just a couple photos.
I say, it's like, how do you say, guys, vitrina in English? I don't know how to say vitrina in English. Vitrina, when you put the products in a store, seems for me like that.
Window.
Like a window? Yeah.
Window display maybe?
Yeah. So front window. I say, Patricia. Thank you, Patricia. Or catalog. Yeah. It seems like social media, the most similar metaphor that I can figure is like your front window or your catalog. catalog to show the different products or angles that you can have as an artist or as a product.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm talking to you. I'm thinking, okay, I have to do this for my profile. I have to do this with my Instagram. I have to do this with my Facebook. But now because now we are in this quarantine time, we can manage more our time. But when we are in regular time, when you're around going to castings or going to auditions or going to rehearsal and stuff, personally, I get overwhelmed and I can be away from social media weeks. And then I say, oh, wow, I need to post something.
What a blessing, right?
At least a little bit in the histories, because honestly, I feel myself like overwhelmed. Oh, beyond all the things that I have to do, I have to also to post something.
Right. So this is where I would say having a plan really helps. There's such thing as content batching. And what content batching
What is this?
So content batching is setting up a specific time to create content. So I would say if you feel like this is, again, a daunting task, this is what brands do. This is what many content creators and influencers do, is they say every month, I'm going to have a photo shoot and I'm going to create maybe 5 to 4 looks, or maybe I'm going to do 10. Like maybe they're like overachieving and they want to create a lot of content, right? What they're doing is they are batching it. So they set up maybe a weekend or maybe one day, depending on how much you want to share, to just create a lot of content. And some people will shoot their whole content, and then at the same time, they'll edit the photos, they'll edit the captions, and then everything is ready, right? I used to do this when I was working with brands and I needed to meet deadlines, but also like I had other things going on. I would say, okay, I know my theme is very, the brand that I'm trying to do. I need to get the brands to give me the products. I need to try it. I want to make sure this is a brand I want to work with. And then I now have to go shoot that content and meet their deadlines. But also I don't want to post this brand right here and then post it again, because I don't want my audience to think I'm being unauthentic. So what I did is I would plan. So I would say, okay, today I'm going to have a photo shoot and I'm going to shoot 4 looks. And so I would say in your case, since it's not like social media is like, like I said, that's why I said it's a blessing, because I'm addicted to connecting. Okay. And it's like, I check it probably, like, I think my phone tells me I probably pick up my Instagram like an unreasonable amount. So it's like, you know what I mean?
Like an instant.
Yeah. So, but maybe for you, you're like, you know what? I'm going to do a photo shoot. And a lot of influencers, guys, like, you don't have to think I have to hire a huge photographer. Like, you can literally get a tripod, put the tripod like this, and shoot pictures with a clicker and just pose. Maybe your thing is like you want to meditate and you take photos of you meditating. Cool. I got like 4 shots like this, move on. Maybe I just want to be like thinking outside. And I think that comes back down to like, what is that authentic message you want to share? You know what I mean? And it's like, maybe you're like, you know what? I want to share that I love writing. And then you do a whole photo shoot. Like for me, it's like, oh, I'm a life coach. So maybe a picture of me with my computer, like talking to my clients or something like that. Right. So I would say, oh, I can't hear you. I think you're muted. Oh, I thought you were talking to me. Okay. I thought you were talking to me. But yeah, so that's what I would say. I would say just having a plan and then, yeah, so just shoot that content, edit it, come up with the captions, and then know exactly when you're going to post. And if you really want to get like extra crazy, and I know I'm making this like very Instagram, but I think Instagram is where most people hang out. If you want to get even to the point where if you put your Instagram as a business or as a content creator, you get this really amazing thing that's called insight. And it tells you when your audience is engaging with you, what they engage the most with. Like you can look at every single post. And something that's really cool is, let's say, for example, I don't know, like this post, right? Like I can look at my insights and it'll tell me how many people I reached. I don't think you could really see it.
Yeah.
So it'll tell me right here. It'll tell me how many people I've reached.
Okay.
How many people visited my profile from this specific photo. So just from this photo, 123 people came to click on my Instagram.
Okay.
About 300 people liked it. 9 people saved it. So what does that mean? When usually people save a photo is because somehow it was inspiring. They want to maybe, you know, do something similar. So when I see people save and things like that, I'm like, oh, that's the content they want to see. You know what I mean? That's what they like. So I think just, yeah, having your insights on, and I would say, yeah, like content batch. For you, I would just say, like, since it is this daunting task, have a photo shoot, do your thing, and then say, on Monday, I'm going to post, and then always engage. That is one thing I will say is, like, if someone commented, write back to that person and just say thank you, whatever it is. Don't ever leave comments unanswered. I think it just shows like you're a person that engages with your people. And then if you want to grow your following, which a lot of people do, I would say if you want to grow your following in an organic way, which is what I would recommend. I will say when I was younger, I was like, I just want to have a lot of followers. And then I realized, like, no, that's not what I want to do, especially now from a business standpoint. I do not want any. I have actually unfollowed people that are not aligned with my brand because I don't want them following me if they're not my ideal customers. So I would say to grow organically, engage with like-minded people. So I would say go to like maybe SAG-AFTRA or, you know, like HOLA, and find out like who are the people that are a part of this organization. Follow them, send them a message, you know what I mean? Like, be like, hey, so awesome. Like, authentically connect with people. And that is something I do now with, like, you know, with my life coaching and my Women's Wednesday, I reach out to women all the time. If a woman likes my photo, I will automatically click on her Instagram, like a bunch of her photos, and I'll direct message her and I'll say, hey, nice connecting with you. And then they'll follow me back, or they'll say, oh my gosh, like, yeah, great connecting with you. Love your content, or this or whatever. And then I'll be like, awesome. What's your email? I'd love to add you to my newsletter. And then they'll send that to me. I'll be like, oh, by the way, Wednesday I'm having a hangout. Like, so I'm just now including them in everything that I do. So I would say you could do that with casting directors. Definitely, since you guys are actors, definitely connect with people that are looking for you. You know what I mean? So yeah, and then, yeah.
So what you do with your profile in Instagram? Do you switch to instead of personal to like business mode or something like that in order to see all of that content, all the information?
Yes. So I would say if you go ahead and link your Facebook to, and this is something that's great. So if you have a Facebook fan page, you can connect that Facebook fan page to your Instagram business. And the cool thing is Instagram will automatically share that content on Facebook for you. So every time I post a story, it's going to my Facebook fan page. All of my content goes on both. And it asks me, do you want to share it? And then, so yeah. And then for the insights, you do have to be a business or a content creator. But I would say just do it because it doesn't really do anything except the fact that it allows you to put like your description. So for my Facebook, it says that I'm an actor. And then on my Instagram, it shows up as actor because again, remember, Facebook owns Instagram, so they work together.
Okay. Guys, I wanted to open the questions, guys. If you want to raise your hand physically or by touching the hand in the... Okay, I have Diana again. Diana, can you mute yourself? And then I have Pablo.
Can you guys hear me now? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So basically, you touched upon the point of like establishing those connections. Do you have any specific strategy? Let's say if there's let's say they might be a celebrity or a producer that you want to work together. Do you have like a specific strategy when if you're creating that type of content that is aligned with that specific type of work, when reaching out to, will you take something specific that would be targeted to that person or any strategy that you can provide?
So I think the biggest important thing is to align yourself as a peer and never as a fan or a groupie. And this is super crucial, especially as actors. You are not a fan of Brad Pitt. You are his co-worker. You are his colleague. And That's what you have to start thinking yourself as. If you see Meryl Streep, you're not like, oh my God, it's Meryl Streep. Can I have a photo? It's like, nice to meet you, other artists. How are you? I also am an artist. And when you find people of influence, when you find people of higher platforms, they are so used to having people around them that are fans and groupies. If you want to be considered a peer and a colleague, you have to add value to their life. You are not asking them for anything. You have to add value. So for example, if I want to reach out to somebody that is a higher influence than I am, like a Jay Shetty, he aligns very well with my brand. And, I connected with him. He followed me back on Instagram. That felt like a huge win because we are very aligned, yet he has more influence than I do. And if I ask him, hey, can you be on my podcast? And he doesn't reply, but he engages with my content and things like that. I say, okay, look, he's engaging with my content. He's just very busy. You can be persistent with the people that you want to have in your circle. So example, like Tyler Perry, that girl that made a billboard, right? And then he went and posted on his Instagram, this is not the way to get a job. Yet, however, she did get a job with Tyler Perry. So what ends up happening is like, you can get these people's attention, but I would say you just have to understand that you're a colleague. So start adding value, start creating content. If for example, like from a brand perspective, if you know that Aerie is a brand, it's a huge brand. If you want to do a campaign with them and maybe they're a higher brand that you're like, I can't get that brand because I haven't worked with brands yet, create a campaign for free for Aerie and show them, look, this is what I would do if you hired me. And then they're like, oh my God, you're amazing. You know what? We're going to give you $100, create another campaign for us. Because you added value to them before just acting like a huge fan. So whoever that person is for you that you want to reach, I would say, maybe align with their work. And the best way to get people in your circle is honestly, cut them a check. If they're doing a workshop, go to that workshop. If they're doing a film screening, go to that film screening, show up and be like, why do you like Tyler Perry? Oh, I align with your message. You're a man of faith. I love your projects. Like, I love your story. I've read your book. Sure, you sound like a fan, but you're also showing up and you're being appreciative. And then when you just show up and you're also a professional and say, look, there's also a project I'm working on. I'd love to, take you out for a cup of coffee and maybe chat if you have time, maybe a Zoom call. You know what I mean? It's just always being of value. So I would say that would be the best way to just kind of get these influencers and hire people in your circle.
Great, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Pablo. ¿Tenías una pregunta?
Sí, y la voy a hacer en español porque ya yo no.
Sorry.
Ya es muy tarde para
He's
mí.
like, ay, mi madre.
Te quería preguntar acerca, primero, muchas gracias por todo lo que estás compartiendo. Esto es de mucha ayuda. Básicamente hay muchos tips que has dado para aumentar los seguidores, que creo que es parte de lo que queremos, ¿no? Claro. Aumentar el número de personas y la cantidad y calidad de personas a las cuales podemos alcanzar. No hemos hablado hashtag.
Yes.
Ellos en realidad sirven.
Sí, demasiado.
Sí, I'm gonna translate that in English for people who is not English, Spanish speaker. Pablo, what he's asking is how helpful is hashtag in social media these days?
Yeah. Hashtags are great. Let me tell you. When I first realized that what hashtags do is they are pretty much creating a separate page. Let's say someone follows the hashtag life coach, right? Vamos a decir que alguien está siguiendo el hashtag que dice life coach. And I posted that. Anybody that's looking at that specific content now can see my content, right? So again, going back to your insights, si estás viendo tu insights y pusiste ese hashtag, it'll tell you how many people discovered you because of that hashtag. So had I not had a hashtag, there's a whole group of people that would have never discovered me. But because I had hashtag wellness, hashtag faith, hashtag this, now again, it goes down back to like brand. So it's just to your advantage. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. So why not throw a couple hashtags? And you can put it in your copy. right? Like if you don't want to do like a whole comment section of just like 1,000 hashtags, put it in your copy. So just be like, you know, so happy to connect with all my clients today, hashtag life coach. You know what I mean? Oh my God, love this opportunity, hashtag actress. You know what I mean? And then keep writing. So when you look at the caption, there's a bunch of hashtags there, but they're kind of spread out. So yeah, you don't have to have 1,000 hashtags, but just make it to whatever that content is, make it relevant. I will say also, like, if you are engaging with someone else's community, like Rachel Hollis, she has her own community and she's doing this thing called the 90-day challenge right now, right? If I put hashtag 90-day challenge, everybody that's doing that challenge now sees my photos on their feed. Or if they look at that hashtag, now they can connect with other people in that community. And again, it's only to my advantage. And now I know these are like-minded people that are also doing the challenge that I'm doing. And those are the people I want to engage with because they're my target audience. So just do hashtags that align with your target, and then you're going to start seeing, and then engage with that content. So if your content is hashtag actor, who else is posting hashtag actor? Engage with them, be friends with them, or you know what I mean? So stuff like that. That's how I would say using hashtags to your advantage.
Yeah, I guess, and sometimes because when I post, I see actor, but also I see actors with S. And sometimes I see, okay, I'm not gonna post actor and actors. I'm just gonna post the one that has more.
Yeah, and you can
posts.
actually see when you do a hashtag, it'll tell you which hashtag actually has more people on that actual hashtag. So sometimes if I'm gonna put life coach, or maybe I'm gonna put like, I don't know, like, or maybe like podcast versus podcast host. Sometimes podcast has more than podcast host. So I'll say, oh, I'm gonna go with the podcast because more people follow this one or more people engage with this one. So then like, I think that you could use that as like when to see which one to use.
Awesome. Yolani Torre, Yolani, I see your question in the chat. Do you want to say by yourself? Yolani, ¿estás con nosotros?
A ver, ¿me escuchan?
Ahora sí te escucho.
Hola.
Hola, Yolani.
Hola.
Sí. Hello, everybody. So I have two questions.
Okay.
And so sometimes I'm motherly and younger people hang on me and they kind of ask me questions that they can find in Google or ask their mother. And I don't know how politely send them there without them getting offended. This happens when they are initially getting to know me, because apparently I'm very, I don't know, mother-like or whatever, and usually older than that. La pregunta es, al principio, cuando la gente como muy maternal, esta gente más jóvenes que yo, me preguntan de todo y yo quiero decirle, llama a tu mamá o búscalo en Google, pero no quiero decírselo de una manera que se ofendan y no sé cómo hacerlo, cómo parar a la gente para decirle, pero...
Well, I would say let's look into that. Like, is the world telling you what your brand is and you're kind of trying to throw it away? Like maybe you are that mother that everybody asks advice to, and maybe that is some part of your brand. And if you're an actor, you could use that to your advantage, and how funny that is. It's like, you know, maybe you're a comedy actor and you can use it as like, ay, es que todo el mundo quiere que yo les haga las preguntas y por qué no chequean Google? Okay, today's mini session. I'm going to answer 5 questions that my followers have asked me. Okay, blah, 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 blah. You should ask your mom, but I know that like you have more faith in asking me because I'm kind of like your mom. You know what I mean? And like you can make it a funny thing and be like, anyway, guys, if you have any questions, I'm your online mom. See you next week. You know what I mean? Like if that's part of what people are looking for, like don't turn that away. It might be a blessing. And I would invite that in and be like, why do people think that they should ask me questions that they should really just Google? Maybe you're giving something that people feel comfortable asking you these things. And I would use that to your advantage. You know, people loved to ask me for life advice. And I was like, maybe I should be a life coach. And there you go. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't throw it away.
Oh, thank you.
Fantastic.
Can I ask one more?
Sure, of course.
Okay. So then I do a bunch of different things. And I help a lot of people because sometimes I'm bored or because I can do it faster than them. But then I don't know how how to request money from people if that's a service that I provide.
Mm-hmm.
And how do I request money from people that I already helped in the past? And I know that they are willing to pay somebody else. Entonces, si yo he ayudado a alguien antes, de gratis, o porque quise, o porque esa persona en ese momento no podía pagar, ¿cómo yo le pido que me pague la próxima vez? Si yo sé que está dispuesto a pagar, pero no me contrata o me pide más ayuda y no me paga.
Right. I think it comes down to having your standards, like, ¿qué son tus standards? Like, para mí es como que con mi ayuda, like, con mi life coaching, con mis amigas, obviamente si me llaman, le voy a dar apoyo, right? Like, I'm a life coach, but I'm also your friend. You know what I mean? Like, we have that connection. But at the same time, you know, this is my standard. And if you want to have a private call with me, this is my price. So I would say, si vamos a decir, no sé qué son los servicios que tú has hecho en el pasado, or like what are the services you've done in the past, I would say if it is something that you know that you're good at. For example, maybe you like love cleaning. Maybe you enjoy that. Like, I would say, like, what would you say are, I'm so sorry. I was getting a call. Sorry about that. What would you say, can you tell me maybe one or two of the things that you've done? Like, so we can be specific.
I have edited and translated from simple documents to whole movies.
So that's a huge task. And I would say that because you've done it once, that's great. So anytime you're going to do something, I would say, I would always say, like, great, like, add value, right? Like, if I'm going to be a life coach right now, I need to coach some people for free just so I can add value and kind of give myself clout, right? So I would say, since you've already edited a full movie and given people translations, that is a craft that you know that you can do, and now you have clout. You know that it's a skill. I would absolutely, I think it comes down also to your standards. It's like, I had a client of mine who she used to do a lot of voiceovers for books, like for audiobooks, and she was doing it for free. And I told her, stop doing it for free. This person obviously keeps asking you to do this task. Tell them, by the way, starting this new year, I do no longer do free work. If you want to book me, I actually cost $1,000 for an entire, you know, whatever that session is going to be, and have your rate. So I would say have your rate for whatever it is that you want to do. And then that's what I would say.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Gracias.
Elizabeth, I have two questions here. Melissa Calderon. Melissa, do you want to ask for yourself?
Yeah, that's okay. So I was asking if you have any recommendations on like editing apps or software you use on your photos so you can have like a consistent color scheme so when you post something on your grid.
Yes, great question. I use, I think prefixes is a really big thing. If you're like talking to an influencer, they're going to usually tell you to use a preset. I said prefixes before, I'm sorry, preset. And pretty much what that is, if you download the app Lightroom, Lightroom is a great editing tool. And what you do is, let's say a content batched, right? Like, let's say I did a whole photo shoot and I bought a preset from maybe an influencer, which I have done in the past, because they've spent a lot of time creating this, you know, edit, and I want that edit. So now I have maybe, let's say 4 presets, or you can go ahead and create your own. Or maybe your theme is that it's a little oversaturated with a lot of brightness, right? Like, you don't have to do a preset, but maybe you have a style. But I would say presets is, if you really, really, really want to get technical, those people's feeds that you look at and they're like, how is it so pretty? It's a preset. So with that preset, you can add it into Lightroom. It's a free app, Lightroom, also known as Adobe, but Lightroom. So you can import the photos that you've done on there from your photo shoot. And you can go with the preset and you can add the preset to all of the photos. So you put preset, 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 and you literally just go like that, and you can edit it. And then I would go from, what I do is I always touch up my photos a little bit, right? So maybe if I have a little pimple right there, maybe a little smooth that out, or my hair's like pretty, but like there's like this. So, you know, maybe smoothen that out, or, you know, just bring out the colors a little bit to make it look a little nicer. Then I'll edit, you know, so I use Facetune for that. Then I go to Lightroom, put my colors, and then I'll go to preview and see what does that look like. And so then I go to preview, put that in, and then start messing with the tiles. And that's what I would say is my process. And that's what I would say most influencers use the same process.
Gotcha. Oh, sorry. Did I have one thing? I was just wondering, where do you get the presets? I don't know if I missed it.
So there's actually some people that are willing to give their presets for free, but I would say you can literally put hashtag preset and you will find influencers that create presets, or you can get them for free. I would say there's one girl specifically, I would say, I mean, she's a little bit more on the pricier end. Her name is, I can't remember her name. I would just put hashtag preset and you'll find a bunch, I promise.
The app that you recommend is Lightroom. It's just one app you recommend, right? Lightroom.
So I would say I recommend Facetune, because again, you want to edit maybe something that's like just looks a little off. Maybe like sometimes I'll do a photo shoot and there's like this random like sign right here, and I just want to take that off. Like I just don't like that there's like there's a wall and it's all ugly here. So maybe I'll just with my Facetune, I'll just move that out, or I'll blur the background, or again, like I'll fix this, or I'll fix a little something, or I like to highlight stuff and make this pop out, so it's just a creative thing. So I would say Facetune, Lightroom, Preview. Those are my three main ones, I would say, honestly.
Awesome. In the chat, guys, if you want to take a look, Malcolm is writing the names of the apps: Facetune, Lightroom, and Preview.
Yeah, and Liana said also, Liana Danielle is an influencer who has great presets. Her Instagram is on there, so I would check her out. And I think another one is JC. I think I'll look her up, but it's JACI. And I'll find her, but if you want to go ahead and ask JC Marie is her name, sorry. JC Marie. Hers are a little bit more on the pricey side. I'm a little ashamed to tell you how many I've spent, but it's all right. So I would say, JC Marie Smith is like, why do I spend $50?
Well, you're investing. You're a brand. You have to invest in your brand and yourself as a brand.
Yes.
So I have a question. And maybe we do have 4 minutes left from our schedule, but I know there is a generation who is kind of getting into all this social media. Let's say there is a mother over 40s, or it's not any millennials. So what is your recommendation to say, you know what, I just post like, I don't know, flowers in my garden or maybe my dog, but I just want to turn my social media as a very strong tool for my business. How do you start? How do you recommend them to start switching their social media to a business social media? How to start and not getting overwhelmed and say, you know what, I'm done with this.
Right. I think, so we talked about this in our pre-call, and I think a really good thing to also understand is businesses hire people to do tasks that they don't want to do, right? So I created my own website, but now that I'm moving a little bit further along in my life coaching and like business like venture, I understand the power of having a website as a professional. So I'm going to hire somebody. Not now, it's not in my budget yet, but I want to hire somebody to make my platform as good as it possibly can be, right? So when I would say for Instagram, if it's part of your brand, people have hired me to work on their Instagram. Like I had a woman that she was like, look, I just can't. It's like, I'm not going to, I don't have the time, nor do I want to. I see the advantage. Do you want it? Like, I can pay you. Like, I will pay you. And I was like, I will take your money. Yes, I would love to. It's a simple task for me, honey. Here's what I'm going to ask. I'm going to ask you content batch, whatever that means for her in her life. And sometimes she wouldn't even send me photos. I would have to like go on Facebook, get a throwback, get a clip. I did her whole reel for her, like, because for me, that's not a task. So I would find people, if you don't like doing it, find people that are experts and hire them, give them your money. Say, look, I don't want to do it. I don't ever want to think about it. I don't run my social media for me. What is your price? And you can shop around. Remember, not the first person that tells you this is how much I charge for a website is the person you have to do. You're hiring somebody. So I would say find somebody within your budget for your business and say, maybe I can only afford $100 a month. I promise you there's a teenager out there that's a social media expert that will take your $100 gladly and make your Instagram look poppin'. So I would just say, if you don't like doing it and you want it, hire someone.
And I guess in HOLA, we are trying to develop this sense of community. And I guess a good strategy that if you're a millennial and you feel very comfortable as you feel with all these social media, you can maybe get some exchange with someone which is not millennial, no social media person. You can say, you know what, you can teach me, I don't know, piano lessons if you're a pianist, but you are not social media person, and I can maybe manage your social media.
Bartering.
Kind of exchange.
Yeah, so it's called bartering. So you could absolutely barter with somebody. I just did it this week, right? So I have a friend of mine that she's a holistic, more of like she's trying to start a holistic brand, a holistic business. And I'm really educated in business and I'm really good at taking action. So I was like, look, my diet's kind of off. Can you recommend, how I should be eating? And I'll coach you in your business. And we did a little bit of a barter and that was great. So if there's somebody that's willing to kind of do that for you, if you have a service that you want to provide, absolutely barter. Why not? Like, share your goods.
Awesome. Elizabeth, we are 1 minute left. If you wanted to give your conclusion or a general suggestion for us who are very interested to turn our business, our Instagram account as a business one, and how, if people want to reach you, what is the best way to reach you? And yeah.
So please do connect with me. I love connecting. I'm super active on my Instagram. If you DM me, I promise you will absolutely get a reply. I'm very active on there. So my Instagram, I think he posted below. It's Elizabeth__Danielle. If you're following HOLA, which you all absolutely should be, I'm sure you are, you can find me on their story. They were on there. I do, again, Instagram. I have a podcast called Shine Brighter with Liz. And I'm also a life coach. So if you're interested in that, talk to me about that. But other than that, I would say, back to just like the social media, I would say, it doesn't have to be a daunting task for you. See it as a fun opportunity, a fun creative venture. Whatever you post is going to be enough. You don't have to go crazy. You know what I mean? And just think about what you want to share with the world and share that authentically. Connect with people that you would never get to connect with. I will say, like, I had acne for a really long time. That was so awful for me. And then I found this like amazing woman that she would post like her acne online and she would share her like favorite products. And I'd be like, oh my God, where are you? And she pretty much helped me get through my acne and not feel ashamed. And I would share with her like, oh my God, what are you eating? What's this product? What's this mask? And we became friends. And then I started seeing like, who does she follow? And I found this whole community of people that were going through something I was going through. And it was awesome. And I wasn't sharing my acne story because I was like, that's so off brand for me. Like, no. But at the same time, I still had that community and it made me feel so not alone. So I think if you just like share whatever it is that you're passionate about, do that. And if you have any other questions, like for sure, reach out to me. And I'm super excited to be a part of HOLA. And thank you guys for this opportunity. I'm just so grateful to be representing Latinos and be here with you guys. And so thanks for reaching out. I really appreciate it.
Así es. A ti, Elizabeth, muchas gracias por acompañarnos. A ustedes, chicos, gracias por conectarse con nosotros. Thank you so much for connecting with us. And I'm sure there is a bunch of questions that are still in our chat or in our minds. So, you can reach her, or obviously we're trying to organize more talks in the rest of this season. So maybe we can bring her back if you guys want to. Guys, stay tuned. Next week we have 3 more talks: Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Tomorrow we're gonna post the promotions, but please be in tune. Repost that, please. Let's create this strong.
Can we take a picture for social media?
Of course we can.
Yes, I was going to suggest that if everybody can open your cameras, if you are you have clothes, please.
You're not joking.
So we can do like I will do a screenshot and maybe we can post it in our Instagram and we can tag people so we can follow. Let me see.
Let's do it again. Everybody smile on the count of 3. Are you ready, Elizabeth?
Yes.
Okay.
1.
Look how beautiful this Cynthia there. 1, 2,
3.
Nice, guys.
Okay,
awesome.
Let me do another one. 1,
okay.
2, and 3. Awesome.
So fun.
Gracias, chicos. Nos vemos el lunes en el siguiente talk, ¿ok? Stay safe. Cindy, you look beautiful. Cindy, you look beautiful. Powerful there. Powerful there. Thank you for being connected.
Bye,
Guys, see you on Monday.
So
Gracias, Elizabeth.
Gracias a usted.
Feliz fin de semana.
Igualmente.
Bye bye.
Chao.
Gracias a todos. Gracias.